You know, the more I find out about humour, the more I think we all misunderstand it. We think of it as something frivolous, a pleasant way of passing the time, a luxury. Well, over the years, I've come to a different conclusion. I now see humour as an extraordinarily important force in our lives. The trouble is, we sometimes confuse being serious with being solemn. A good joke can give tremendous insight. So humour can be serious. What it can't be is solemn. So when humour is present, we lose not seriousness, but only solemnity. And I reckon solemnity is overrated because it induces feelings of rigidity and pomposity and a corresponding loss of ordinary human warmth and easy, open communication. Now, I want to persuade you today that a sense of humour would make your organisation more competitive. There are 4 reasons why this is so. First, that the correct use of humour facilitates learning. Second, that humour helps to change people's behaviour. Third, that humour promotes an increase in creativity. And fourth, that humour helps people to feel less threatened by the prospect of change. Now, let me tell you a little about these. Some friends and I founded Video Arts in 1972, and when we first produced our films, nearly all of which use humour to get the training points across, we often encountered the argument, but training is a serious business. Video Arts' key belief is that if the humour arises directly out of the teaching points, if the jokes encapsulate the lessons, then, if they're enjoyed and remembered, the training points that the jokes illustrate are remembered too. Okay, now, provided that the humour arises from the training points, there are 2 additional advantages. First, if trainees laugh at a bit of behaviour, by their laughter, they are acknowledging the uselessness of that behaviour. And if they hear others laughing at it too, the point is even more persuasive. Second, psychological research shows that people learn best when they're in a state of what psychologists call moderate arousal. Now, I believe the perfect way of creating and maintaining that state is by incorporating humour in training. But in training, we're trying to get people to do more than learn. We're trying to get them to change their behaviour. Now, our behaviour is deeply ingrained in us, and consequently it's seldom changed by a simple verbal instruction, an organizational New Year's resolution, as it were, because such an instruction goes from one intellect to another and doesn't affect us at the gut level from which our behavior arises. As the old Chinese proverb has it, tell me and I'll forget, show me and I may remember, involve me and I'll understand. The point of comedy is that it involves the audience. Now, I believe that if you involve people and get them to laugh at counterproductive behavior, then later on, when they are about to embark on it themselves, a little red light may start flashing at the back of their minds, and they may remember for a moment laughing at something like this in the recent past, which can then give them the chance to stop and embark on a different, more productive behavior. Such a moment of gut-level remembering can't come from a simple verbal instruction because behavior like that doesn't come from the head. To put it another way, Video Arts believes we can learn from our mistakes. And I believe that if you can involve people with humour, they can learn from mistakes without actually having to commit them themselves. My third claim is that it promotes an increase in creativity. I learned of some research done by McKinnon at Berkeley in the 70s. He identified some architects and some scientists who were rated by their colleagues as highly creative. Now, tests show that they were no different in intelligence from their less creative colleagues, but that they took longer to study problems and that they played with them more. So the difference is that the highly creative know how to switch themselves into a playful mood. In fact, Kinnan actually describes this creative mood as being more childlike. And what is closer to childlike playfulness than humour? Where humour is felt not to be appropriate, then less playfulness and consequently less creativity will result. Okay, now, once we've had our creative ideas, we have to implement them. Which brings me to claim number 4, that humour helps people to feel less threatened by the prospect of change. So, what helps people deal with the stress that results from change? It's providing a kind of emotional support that gives them confidence that things are going to be all right, that the changes can be managed, a feeling of faith in the future. Now, laughter reduces anxiety, and so it helps people cope with the stress of change. We all know that a problem that seems to be threatening to overwhelm us can be reduced to its right proportions by the injection of humour. You know, biologists have long been baffled by the evolutionary importance of humour. Perhaps it's that our sense of humour is the best mechanism we have to get back into that open mode in which we are at our most intelligent, most efficient, and most competitive. Giggle your way to greater competitiveness. That's a laugh, isn't it?